Okay, so I've flown to Canberra, but I obviously forgot to take footage in the airport. I didn't fly United because that doesn't happen in Australia. I flew Qantas. But I thought I'd fake you out to give some context to the fact that I'm not in my usual place in today's vlog. And tomorrow's vlog, I am in Canberra. Specifically, I'm at a hotel just a stone's throw away from, what's the thing, that thing called? Oh, Parliament. So I'd like to tell you why I'm in Canberra, and I have a bunch of meetings I'm attending and hopefully helping out in, but I don't know in detail at least. What I do know is that Google have taken me here to be a part of some meetings with politicians to essentially represent what YouTube is, which is, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a big deal to be able to do that, to represent that for Australia, which is pretty cool. So I don't entirely know what the meetings will discuss and stuff like that, but I know it's my job to let them know what I do and why I love it, and how I guess that plays into the Australian culture and businesses, and how it as a media outlet is important and growing and all of that stuff. So I'm interested to take part in that, and also learn a lot while I'm here. I've never really, in recent memory, been to Canberra, or at least, you know, the political part. In fact, I only remember coming to Canberra once. It was on my way through to somewhere else, and I was about 8, and I got very bored. But it's really weird to be here as an adult. Specifically, I don't know what it is about the hotel I'm staying at. It must be just like right next door to Parliament, but as I was walking into the hotel, Tony Abbott was walking out, who, those of you who don't know, was the former Prime Minister of Australia. So I was just like, okay, so I guess is where politicians hang out. And here I am. So I guess that means for the next few days I'm in adult Jazza mode. Except when we're in our hotel room. Okay, so everyone, I'd like you to meet Michael. Michael, how you doing?
Hi guys.
So, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting because it's so fancy, but what's your title at Google?
I'm the Public Policy Government Relations Counsel for Google Australia.
God, that's impressive. You must like get a shiver down your spine every time you say that.
Not quite.
This is Parliament House?
This is Parliament House. We're in the marble foyer in
so
Parliament
uneducated.
House now.
This is the marble foyer. We've had a couple of meetings out of our meetings today. It's been really cool. It's been so fun to just talk about what I do for a living in the context of, I guess, I mean, I wouldn't say informing. How would you describe what we're sort of sharing our experience in the platform?
Telling people about YouTube and the opportunities that it's created for Australian creators to get their content out to the world.
I don't know if you can hear it, but there's this ringing sound of a bell that I've been listening to for about 20 minutes non-stop. And if you look at the clocks, there's a little blinking light, and it's either a light on the right or on the left. And apparently, and it's tied up to every clock, by the way, so these clocks are all around the place with the same blinking light. I don't know if you can really see that one, but apparently when there's that ringing and when the light is blinking, either the one on the right or the left, it means that there's either a vote happening in the Senate or in the House of Representatives. I am not in any way politically informed, so I barely understand all this stuff, but I just find it interesting that this place is like constantly ringing and telling people where to run around and go get their votes in on different bills and stuff. It's fascinating. I'm here in the office of Senator Hanson-Young.
Hi.
Is that right? We just FaceTimed
Yes.
with your daughter.
Me too.
That's so cool. Thank you for your time. It's been amazing. Today, Michael and I have met with a whole bunch of different people, members of parliament, senators. It's been incredible.
Politics gets a pretty bad rap most of the time, but actually we're just people, and we're trying to do. Oh, see that?
That's the bell.
That's the bell.
What's the?
It usually means when the bells ring red we got to run.
Time
I've got
to run
4
away.
minutes to get to the chamber.
I've heard stories that everyone like
And
sprints
you know,
around.
I wear my heels, and if I'm running late, I kick them off and
Really?
I keep running.
That's
yeah.
crazy.
You know, I'm very passionate about artists, Australian creators,
That's
and
so cool.
seeing you do your work online and encouraging others to do it. Yeah.
Anyways, thank you
lovely
so
to
much.
meet
It
you.
was so good to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so it's now 9 p.m. I'm back in my hotel. Wait, no, it's 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m. I'm back in my hotel room. Today was a very productive and busy and interesting day. I learnt a lot. I sat in the there's a word for House of Representatives. I sat in the House of Representatives while the Prime Minister and the opposition leader across the table from one another were volleying and debating very theatrically. It was highly entertaining, and I left Parliament today after all the meetings and after all that I got to enjoy and witness and learn, feeling pretty proud of our setup here. I think, you know, as much fault as people tend to find and want to point out, at the end of the day, we're pretty lucky to have the system that we have, and I did feel like with all the people I met, with everything I saw, it's really at least overwhelmingly working for people, and I think that's really beautiful. So anyways, I if you can't tell, have had a beer the size of my face tonight and had a steak for dinner, which was lovely. I left today's video to render for the channel while I went down and had some dinner. I'm now back up. I'm going to upload and release that video, which is a ZBrush tutorial, which those of you who are interested, it's a bit of a crash course from a noob's perspective, so go check that out. In the meantime, I have to do the thumbnail for that video, and then I need to do some render checks for some upcoming videos, and then also do a little bit of work on an upcoming colouring book that I'm working on while I'm travelling. So lots is happening. Obviously, I'm sort of working all day and a bit into the night, but this is fun. And I have a bit of time off planned for when I hit back in Melbourne anyway, so I'm just sort of working hard while I can. By the way, I haven't pointed this out yet, but I actually have a new laptop, so I'm actually able to multitask and render videos while I travel, while I work on art and thumbnails and other things while I go. And it's also really useful because sometimes it's just more practical to open a laptop and type away for emails or editing and things like that. So that allows me to sort of go between content creation and art and editing and emails and all that other stuff. Plus, it's a gaming laptop, which means that I have it's a slightly future-proofed plan for if I ever want to make VR content on the go. That's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, question of the day. Let me quickly grab a question of the day. I'm just going to move you over here to make this easier. Deepak Rajendra says, I haven't sent you anything and don't have anything to send you, but can you elaborate on why you don't send back people their items after signing them, etc.? That's a question referring to the vlog that went up yesterday where I opened a lot of fan mail. A lot of people had sent like a picture they hoped I would sign and send back. Time is the main thing. As you saw in yesterday's vlog, it took me 9 months to even get to opening all that mail, let alone setting aside time to sign and send things back. Beyond that, even the Challenge of the Month prizes, it's really quite a struggle for time to put all this stuff together. I no longer am able to do custom illustrations in the prize sketchbooks. I simply sign my book and send it with the stuff. I know it sounds like sort of douchey to say it. I feel sort of guilty saying it, but at the end of the day, I think especially as the channels grow, you know, to a place where it's really difficult to keep managing the content and the community and all these other things we do around that, you do have to pick and choose what you actually can accomplish and what you need to sacrifice. And if that means sacrificing the custom illustration in the prize or the signing things and sending them back to people in favor of prioritizing great content for everyone and making sure that you can constantly interact with everyone, I feel like that's better all round for everyone involved. So we still do everything we can, and sometimes we still send custom messages to people, you know, based on their circumstances, but overall we try not to encourage that or make that the norm, because it's frankly, with hundreds and hundreds of contacts a day, simply impossible. So I hope you understand. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. We have a day of more excitement coming tomorrow, so I will see you then. Cheers.